Assalamu alaikum everybody, I'm Huma Maqsood from FranklinCovey Pakistan.
And I'm Mariam from FranklinCovey Pakistan.
We are here to announce that we have a collaboration with Radio LUMS to have a series of podcasts this Women's Day, commencing this Women's Day.
And our theme is about embracing equity. And we will be inviting a number of amazing women who are going to come and talk to us, share their stories with us. And we're going to be, our initiative is all about diversity, equity, and inclusion. And this initiative of ours, I hope, will start a series of conversations and we will hear amazing stories.
So stay tuned to listen to some very amazing, inspiring conversations. Looking forward.
Hello everyone, my name is Yusra Rasool. I am your host for today and we welcome you to this joint collaboration between FranklinCovey Pakistan and Radio LUMS. This is the first episode of a brand new series where we discuss equity, which is our theme for Women's Day this year. We're going to have various guests over time that have managed to prove themselves with the success they carry, not only for themselves but for the country they represent. I'm extremely glad and honored to be sitting here today because we have someone very special in the studio with us. Bisma Khan is a swimmer who is a national champion as well. She has represented Pakistan in many international events, and apart from the various accolades that she has to her name, she also represented Pakistan in the Tokyo 2020 Olympics, women's 50-meter freestyle, where she broke the national record within 27.78 seconds. And most recently, she represented Pakistan at the Birmingham Commonwealth Games, where she stood second. Hello, Bisma. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Happy to have you here.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So can you start from the beginning and tell us a bit about your journey and how you got into swimming and what motivated you to, keep on going?
Okay, so how I got into swimming is my dad used to be a swimmer and he wanted all of his kids to be in swimming, just to be learning swimming in a sense that it's like a basic, everyone should know how to swim, not to be on a certain level. But it all started with my elder brother and then my sister, and then I have another brother, and then I'm the youngest one. So my dad basically saw this spark in my sister, which is she's also a former Olympian, Karan Khan. So it all started there, and then I used to go with them to swim. Just as a kid, I used to get ready from my house, and I used to be so excited to let me just go and swim. Not that I never saw swimming becoming who I am today. I just took swimming like a casual summer sports, and that's it. But it turned out something big. So from there, I started learning swimming. I was 4 years old when I started to learn swimming. And then competitively, I started when I was 9 years old. So I used to participate in national juniors. So national juniors works like under 10, 12, 14 and under 16. And by the age of 11, I did my first national seniors. And I got 7 bronze and 7 silvers at that time.
Wow.
And from there, I made into Pakistan team at the age of 12. So I first represented Pakistan at the Commonwealth Games in Scotland in 2014. So from there, it's all everything started, and then it just kept going by competition and competition. It's a very big journey because when I went to Commonwealth Games, I remember there was 5 girls and 5 boys in the team, swimmers. We were 10 swimmers, 5 girls and 5 boys. And I was the 5th best in the swimming team. So my sister was the first top best, and I was the 5th best in the team. So that time I was just a 12-year-old kid. I was so excited to be in the Pakistan team, and how we get treated, and how we go, and how, people just give us this importance, because then you're traveling as a Pakistan thing. Then you're not just on your own. I'm just not Bisma Khan. Then I'm carrying my country with me as well. So at that time, it was just that thing. And after that, I broke a national record when I was 12 years old in that specific event. And then it just went on. And where I took my swimming seriously, we went to India for South Asian Games. It was in 2016. and people made a very big thing out of it that people are really fast, so I don't think so we have a medal over there. So I was like, okay, let me just train and let me just go and see what happens. And then I got like a very unexpected medal over there in like specific event. It called 50 backstroke, and I got a bronze. That's like an individual medal. So I was like 14 at that point, and from there I took my swimming seriously. That okay, this is something I want to do.
That's very impressive, because when I was a child, and we did swimming like as a hobby, like as an extracurricular, all of us siblings. But in Pakistan there's this thing where it's not something that's done in schools. It's not something that's kind of like, it's not important. It's not considered important. So like, what inspired you to pursue a career in swimming? Because this is something that you have to put in the effort, and no one's really backing you up here. It's not something like, for example, if you're becoming a doctor, everyone's going to be
Yeah.
supporting you. But this is something you're doing on your own. So what inspired you to keep going?
As I told you, my sister, she's like older than me, and she used to be in swimming before me. So I think she inspired me, not just me, she inspired like several other girls in Pakistan, because when she entered swimming, when she wanted to be a swimmer. So actually my dad plays a very big role in it, because he wanted us to be swimmers. He never saw that, oh, we are girls, so we shouldn't be doing this. People always used to criticize him that, oh, girls, why? Because you have to wear short costumes and stuff, and people, how this country runs. So my dad like really supported us in this thing. He really wanted us to be swimmers. And then also I looked up to my sister as well, because she's the one who started swimming in Pakistan. She's the first ever good female swimmer who from Pakistan, and she started swimming on an international platform. And obviously I looked up to her, and then it's my dad's support as well that we are here today.
Yeah. I remember, when I was doing research for this interview, I came across this video of you and your dad, and he was talking about how, he had to train you, but the public pools wouldn't allow him to, go, because they were like, aap meal timing par aaye, and you couldn't go, obviously. So that's like only one of, the difficulties or the challenges that you've had to face. But like, how have you overcome those challenges? And if you faced anything else apart from this, so would you like to tell us?
I never really faced anything, because I'm a person who never gives a thing to anyone. I don't care about what people say. But also because of my dad as well, because I had that strong back from my family, from my mom, from my dad. So I never really cared what people are saying or whatever they are thinking on it, because my dad was the main support. I was like, okay, when my dad isn't thinking bad on it, like, who are you then? I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do, and I will do it. So I don't need your permission or your thing to do whatever I want. So this was one of the difficulty, that I couldn't train at the male time, which is like, of course, like Islamic Republic of Pakistan, you cannot swim at the male time because you're a girl, and I cannot swim at the girls' time because my dad is my coach, so he can't just walk in. So my dad just took out this very good solution that we have a swimming pool in my own house. So now we train there. So he was like, okay, if I cannot get into girls, you cannot get into boys. Okay, let's just get this thing into our house. So now we have a pool and we train over there.
Cool.
So my dad just had this crazy passion that, okay, nothing is stopping us.
Yeah.
No pool, fine, we are making our own pool. No gym, okay, fine, we're getting our own gym. So like, everything is like, we are owning it.
We're owning it. If there's not a solution, you make one.
Yeah,
right?
we make one.
Yeah. So you've been obviously swimming since a very young age, and for someone that has achieved so much in such a young age, you've been a gold medalist, you've gone to the Olympics, you've participated in the Commonwealth and everything. But like, what do you think is your proudest achievement out of everything you've done? What is one thing that you look back at and you're like, this is something I want to be recognized for till the end of times? Or like, this is that one thing I did in my life?
I mean, representing Pakistan and doing so much in it is already like a proudest thing. But there are certain moments that whenever I want to, like, whenever I feel like I don't want to swim anymore, not because there are difficulties, because you're tired, because swimming is a very full-time job. You have to like train, you have to gym, there's like so much stuff. It's not like you're just swimming and that's it. When you're like professional swimmer, you have to do a lot of things. You have to take care of like a lot of things. You can't be just on a certain level just because like you have to do like certain things to get on a certain level. So as I told you, like I was the 5th best in the team when I got to my first international competition. That was 2014 Commonwealth Games. And then the 2018 Commonwealth Games happened in Australia, Gold Coast. And Pakistan was running out of budget at that point. So our sports board didn't have that much money to send that amount of swimmers or that amount of athletes or that big of a contingent. So they just shortened the contingent to in their budget. The budget they had, so they were like, okay, so this was the entire team, so let us just shorten this, and then we're gonna send this. And then my federation was like, we are gonna send one top girl and one top boy to the Commonwealth Games. So I was that one top girl. So then I look back, like where I was standing 5 years ago, I was like 5th best in the team. And if they're looking for one top swimmer, that's me.
That's you. Yeah.
So that's the story. Is just just kept me like going, that you were like 5th best.
Exactly.
You were not even important in that team. You were just 5th best over there, because there's like number 1, there's number 2 and number 3. People just know about who's number 1. That's it. No one ever remembers who's number 2. And I think it's all about number 1.
I think the bigger deal is also that, there's so many swimmers in Pakistan, but they thought of you and they were like, hey, Bisma ko bhej. So I think,
it's a very big thing that when your federation just gives you that importance, that okay, this is our number 1 swimmer. So from that number 5th swimmer to number 1 swimmer, it's a long journey in between. It's like 5 years back I was 5th best, and 5 years later I'm like number 1. And then I went again in 2022 to my 3rd Commonwealth Games. I was in Birmingham, the one you announced right now. So these are the things I look back, that where were you? Like you were nothing, When you started swimming, you were just chilling around. You were just like, okay, my sister is there, let her do. She has a name, let her do. You're like, okay, just in between, But now when I look back, I was like, this is my 3rd Commonwealth Games, and I went to Tokyo Olympics. That's the biggest thing. I never thought that I would go to Olympic Games, like when I started swimming. Eventually, it became my goal that I want to be an Olympian. But before, I never thought that I would be one.
Yeah. And so right now you're pursuing swimming full-time, or are you like...
No, I am swimming. I'm looking for my 2nd Olympics as well.
Inshallah. But like, are you studying on the side?
Yeah. So basically, like, it's very funny, like a lot of people, like now I'm applying for like several universities, and like when I tell them, like they ask my age and I tell them my age, they're like, aren't you a bit old for university? I'm like, no, I'm not that old for like first year student. I'm like just 2 years old. Then I tell them the entire story. So basically in 2019, IOC, which is International Olympic Committee, gave me a scholarship to train in Russia for the Tokyo Olympics. So I've went to Russia to train for the Tokyo Olympics, and then COVID happened. So instead of 2020, the Olympics went to 2021. So then I had to stay there for one more extra year. So I stopped my study for that period because I couldn't study in Russia because of the language barrier, because it's like you can't study unless you know Russian. So that's where I stopped my studies. Like, well, let me just complete my one thing, and then I get back to Pakistan and I start with my studies. So when I came back in Pakistan, like in 2021, and I started my swimming and school together, and then this year I'll be like graduating from my high school, and then I'm gonna get to my university. So it's like I managed things like pretty well.
I was going to ask, how do you balance that? Because as a student, myself, I think it's a really big struggle to, maintain. For me, if I have a hobby, maintaining that is very difficult with my studies. But you're doing something which is like at a professional level. You're pursuing swimming at a professional level. So how are you managing that with, your studies? And do you ever feel like I need to give up one thing to, take care of the other?
No.
Really?
No. Swimming, when you train too much, like swimming is something at some point you want to give up, because the training is very, very hard and you can't just handle it, and the pressure of course. So sometimes I think like no, I don't want to do it. Like how I just got done with my nationals like on Sunday. So we had like 3 long days of national championship. So after the national, I'm like so tired. Like I'm like this week I'm not doing anything. I'm just sleeping, eating, and chilling. That's it. And from next week I'm gonna start swimming and start studying. But I don't know why people find it hard, but I have no idea. Like, I don't know why people think like, oh, study and sports, it's so hard. I don't know. It's not that hard for me, because maybe I don't have a life I don't have a third thing to do.
Yeah.
Like growing up in school as well, like even my friends used to make plans. Okay, we are going out, we are doing. I'm like, no, I have training. No, I have training. No, I have training. Like always, this was used to be not my excuse. Like this is how it used to be. Like I have training, I cannot come because I took my swimming so seriously. That was my career. That was my goal. That okay, I want to be on a certain level.
Yeah.
And people used to say that Bisma, you have so much attitude.
Yeah.
I was like, no, this is not attitude. This is being disciplined, and this is being working for like what you want. I don't find these things exciting. That okay, going out, fine. Some people think that people are important in your life. Maybe some people, like maybe one or two.
Yeah.
Like people always say that you should keep your circle small, you know.
Yeah.
And I always say like, you know what, I don't even have a circle. I have like a dot, you know. Like I don't even have a circle. The circle just doesn't exist. It's just a dot. I barely have friends. Like I know a lot of people, but I barely have, like, you know, friends. I just have one friend, and that friend is with me from like 13-14 years now, and that's it. Like if I have something, I'm just always telling her, and if she have something, she's always telling me. Like there's no third person in between us. So so I never had that third life out of swimming and, you know, my studying. So I'm like, always I'm swimming, always I'm studying. So I never wanted to go out. I never wanted to talk to people, not because I have attitude, because I'm like tired and I'm like done with everything. Like I know, like on a very young age, it was very mature of me that I already knew that these things will never help me in future. Like not a lot of people recognize this. Like at a very young age, they always think, like even if your parents are stopping you, no, why my parents is stopping me? Like I want to go out. This is that. No, like for me it was like, okay, like my parents used to tell me like, Bisma, please go. I was like, no, I'm too tired. I'm not going out. So even if I want to go somewhere at some point, they never stop me. Like, okay, go. You know that they are also happy. Like finally she's going somewhere. So let her just go. So I was like this, like I want to swim, I want to study, and that's it.
Yeah.
Because I sacrificed all that things at that time, now I'm Olympian and now I'm this point. Same people who used to call me like, Bisma have so much attitude and she's very rude. Now they're like always posting me on their Instagram like, oh, proud of that girl, proud of this girl, proud of that. Oh, she's making parks. I'm like, yeah, right. You were the same people who used to say that, she has so much attitude. But you know, I stopped some things in my life to pursue something else, and I think I made the right decision. I have no regrets on that. Because people are like come and go.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
it.
And I
but
also
what
think
you do, what you left behind, what you leave behind, actually that stays forever.
Exactly. And I think you were also able to maintain this because you've been doing it from a very young age. So, you know, it's been very normal for you to consider that studies and like swimming go together. But for like other people, they find their hobby or their passion quite late in life. So they struggle to, you know, manage their studies or, you know, other things, like juggle between two things. But you also mentioned how when swimming, like the training gets very rigorous, you feel like it was chhod do, like I want to get it over with. So how do you approach or how do you handle setbacks or failures in your swimming career? Because I know I read so many comments, and I know this is the norm in Pakistan when it comes to sports anyways. If someone qualifies for something, so mostly the comments underneath are either like, oh, she's just qualified, it's not like she's won anything, right? You know, like that. Or they'll either come to, you know, criticize the person, like, as a female, I'm pretty sure you've heard that swimming, what are you wearing? Like, you know, your costume.
Every
so
time,
if your pictures in your swimming costume go up, we know the comments that are going to be underneath the picture. So apart from, like, you know, when you see those comments and those bullyings, I'm pretty sure it does hurt you in some way. So how do you, you know, deal with those? And also, how do you deal with other setbacks and failures that come in your swimming career?
You know, I always like read. At some point I used to read those stupid comments people used to say that, what is she wearing? Marna bhool gaya and stuff, you know, that she have to die at some place. Like, what is she doing? So I was like, man, you don't know how we work. You don't know how much work we put behind this thing. Even if you're qualifying, even if you are getting to, okay, fine, I'm not getting a medal, but I met the Pakistan team. If you cannot, if it was easy, why are you sitting behind your phones and behind your whatever thing and just writing? If it was that easy, if you can do it, come forward and do it then. Why don't you do it? Why a lot of people just leave it in the middle of everything that they can't do?
Yeah.
Because it's not easy. Not everyone can do this.
Yeah.
People think making Pakistan team is easy. No, it's not.
Definitely not.
Okay, if it was easy, everyone would have done it.
Yeah.
So I don't take them seriously. I'm like, yeah, write whatever you want to write.
Yeah.
I don't care. Like my attitude is
don't
like
care.
always, I don't care. You know, like I'm always like, I don't care. So maybe that's why I'm here today, because of this attitude that I don't care. And then they think like, oh, you have so much attitude. Like my friends used to tell me, Bisma, you have so much attitude. I was like, at least I have a reason for it.
Yeah.
You don't even have that. And also, I'm studying plus I'm doing my sports. You guys have one job just to study, and that also you're not doing, and you're failing in that. Shame on you, man.
Yeah.
And then you're coming to me and saying that I have attitude. Look at you. What are you doing? You know. So I never see people in a way like, fine, they have to write what they have to write, but I know how much hard work I have put in. Like I know it's not easy. How I used to train. I used to get up 5 a.m. I used to swim. Then I used to go to school, come back, swim again, and then I used to do my homework and then sleep. 10 by 9:10, I'm like knocked out.
Yeah.
Like obviously if I'm waking at 5 and doing all this work, by 9 I'm like gone. So what do you expect? I'm still gonna go out, hang out with you? No.
Yeah.
So we just get this Sunday holiday, and that Sunday is everything to me. On Sunday I'm like, don't wake me up. No, I'm gonna wake, like I'll be up by whatever time I want to, and then I will eat what I want to. I will just chill around, watch my movies, sleep the whole day, and that's it. That's what I love.
Yeah.
Like I'm happy with my own self. I don't want any other person to make me happy, to make me feel happy about anything. I know what I have done.
Mm-hmm.
So if people criticize me, fine. If you think that's that easy, just go do it. Why don't you do it then? Why are you sitting behind your phones and typing all that bullshit? Just go.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
also in Pakistan, ek to, just going into sports regardless of your gender is such a huge deal, because you're breaking so many norms and so many stereotypes, and you're going into that, but it's in Pakistan we're at that stage where it's so difficult for even men at this point, right? So I can only imagine how difficult it is for females. But considering that you had your father and you had your siblings that have been through this, so it kind of makes sense that you might have been told ke, oh ye nahi karna, or haan ye kar lo, it's going to be fine, or you've still had a safety net, I would say. But like, have there been any lack of equity for female athletes in your community that you have seen? So for example, any experiences where they have outright shown that by female swimmers we can't support you, or it's, whether that was like a federation, an organization, the government, or just like people in general with like sponsorships and all that stuff?
Okay, so it's like a bit different, like in a way. In swimming is a very, like, swimming is a sports only in Pakistan. Swimming is a sports only rich people do. Okay, so when I'm doing swimming, I don't think so I see any boy or any girl who is from a middle class family or a like way too lower class family. Everyone is like from like, they are something. I cannot just name what they are. Like everyone is like something. Everyone is like big. They are rich. So like when you're rich, you have more opportunities. When you're rich, you have everything. Okay, like how my dad was like, okay, we don't have pool, so let me just build one. I don't think so everyone's dad can get up one day and build a pool in their house just because his daughter wants to swim. So swimming is like a very different thing in Pakistan. Outside Pakistan it's not like this, but in Pakistan only rich kids do swimming. So rich people don't face any problems. They can wear whatever they want to wear. They can do whatever they want to do. No one questions them because they are rich. They have power. But when it comes to other sports, I've seen athletics, I've seen other sports. I mean, there are girls from like villages and stuff like that. Their families are somehow supportive. Okay, not too much. People probably stop them. I don't know about their personal whatever, but I think people do stop them, because if no, we would have like more girls into sports, But when it's in the sports, so Pakistan has this thing, they won't invest into sports until you are something. Okay, so they don't want to invest money into any kind of sports to build good sportsmen or sportswomen out of it But okay, when you win a medal for Pakistan, then they will give you the money.
It reminds me of that thing Atif Aslam said where he said इस मुल्क में legend बनने के लिए आपको मरना पड़ता है.
Yeah,
So
and then you get that respect.
Exactly.
And then you're not getting anything.
Exactly.
So यही है कि okay, like Pakistan ने मुझे वैसे कभी कोई support नहीं किया, but when I get the medal, I get the money. I get that thing. But before to bring that money, they are not investing anything.
Yeah.
They're like अपने own पे करो, बाद में हम दे देंगे आपको. Like this is wrong. Like you should invest money, only then we can get something, because not everyone is as privileged as we are or as swimmers in Pakistan are, because swimming may, like, if you see girls in swimming, they're from LGS, they're from LAS, they're from KGS, they're from like big schools and big houses and big families, so they can swim. They don't have any, like in Pakistan, when you're rich you have everything. In Pakistan, if you have money, you have everything. No one will stop you.
Yeah, exactly.
It all starts when you're poor and when you have nothing.
Yeah.
Then the criticism starts. Okay, I don't also want this one more thing, that if we are swimming, I don't know why people criticize us that what are we wearing. I just don't get that you have the same fashion shows on the TV and they are like way more naked than us. Like you can see everything, that you can see the entire back, you can see the entire stomach, like how everything is. Then you don't think of Islamic Republic of Pakistan.
Yeah.
I don't know why it only comes to sports.
Yeah.
That Islamic Republic of Pakistan. Movies हो रही हैं, गाने हो रहे हैं, like there are like plenty things on TV. Why people don't get up at that point that Islamic Republic of Pakistan, stop this. Why don't you ban that?
Exactly.
If you can't ban that, why criticizing sports then?
I think उसकी वजह से एक ये भी create हो जाता है that not a lot of people, not a lot of girls especially, end up joining sports because then they're like, there's so much criticism we'll have to face. So ek taraf we're doing all the effort and then we're also dealing with the criticism, which is why you can see that, in Pakistan, sports like tennis, male में तो बिल्कुल नहीं है, but female में भी नहीं है, because badminton, tennis, they all require, clothing, and like swimming, they all require clothing which is not really fit for, like, कि लोग क्या कैसे perceive करेंगे. So I think उस तरह से भी एक तो financial restrictions आ जाती हैं, but this is a major problem. They're like, no, we'll have to wear this, so we can't.
No, but I think if you want to be something, if you want to do something in your life, nothing comes easy, Like अगर आप पहले ही सोच के बैठ जाओगे कि people will say this, people will say that, you will not get anywhere. Like अगर मेरे अब्बू सोच के बैठ जाते हैं कि भाई बेटियों को लोग ऐसे ऐसे करके बातें करेंगे, तो there would be no Kiran Khan, there would be not me also. फिर हम बैठे होते, वो एक एवरेज लड़कियाँ होती, ठीक है पढ़ लिया, 23-24 में शादी कर लिया, and that's it. But it's just my dad used to think like way open than everyone else कि भाई बेटियाँ कराना है बस, ठीक है मैं स्विमर था तो सब बच्चे स्विमिंग करेंगे. उन्होंने नहीं किया कि लड़कों को करानी लड़कियों को नहीं करानी. हम मेरे like my both brothers are swimmers as well, we both sisters are swimmers as well. He was like कि चारों को करानी है, whoever turns out good. So he never differentiated. So he never differentiated कि अच्छा लड़के हैं तो लड़कों को ही कराना है, लड़की है तो लड़की. No. I think my dad supports us more than my brothers. Like उनको फिर भी अब्बू रोक देंगे या किसी चीज़ पे, like he never stopped us. And also we never did such a thing कि वो हमें रोके. We never did such a thing कि उनको हो के नहीं. Like we kept their trust as well. And they trusted us with everything. So I think if आपको करना तो आप करो. अगर आप पहले से यही सोच के बैठ जाओगे कि नहीं होना, नहीं करना, लोग ये करेंगे, then you're not getting anywhere. Then you're just average person like everyone else.
Yeah. And
so if you want to be something, you have to cut out of your comfort zone.
कहीं से तो शुरू करना है.
कहीं तो शुरू करना. You leave your comfort zone, only then you become something.
Exactly. And like your father has been that, support for you, where he's been the one कि करना है. Like, he's even when days when you didn't want to do it, he's the one that pushed you, right? But there's so many families out there that don't have that kind of dynamic, not a lot of parents are supportive. But I think you and your sister and like other swimmers in Pakistan in general, or like anyone in sports in general that has made a name for themselves, are in that position to, empower other girls to kind of do the same and to, tell the world and this country especially that no, you need to come out and you need to participate in sport activities that you're good in. So how can you or like other female athletes use their platform and success to promote equity and equality in sports? Because we don't see that here often. Not a lot of like, it's true, because not a lot of sportsmen and sportswomen in Pakistan are active on their socials, except for cricket. Let's like, if we leave cricket out of this, no one is actively, you know, talking about what they're achieving and what they're doing and all that stuff. So how can we change that? How can you change that as a female sportswoman?
I mean, what we can do on our part is we can go out and tell people about it, that okay, you don't have to do any sports competitively, you don't have to make a sport as your career, but I think you should do sports to keep yourself fit mentally and physically. Sports help you in many ways. Like, if I've been in sports, and by being in sports, I have been away from a lot of bad stuff. Because I was so busy doing sports, I was so into sports, and it helps me to stay away from certain things which are bad in general. So I think to keep yourself like healthy in head and in body, you need to do sports. And parents needs to understand this. Obviously, we go out and there are like several campaigns now on women's and everything. People are doing their part, but you know, it's like 50-50. Okay, fine, I've come and I've given my speech on it. But parents have to play some role as well.
Yeah.
It's not 1947, it's not 1940 anymore. It's a 21st century. Things have changed. So people have, like, especially parents needs to understand that this is a different generation. Everything is changed. So they need to change their mindset a little bit too, and get attached with their kids and get to understand them as well.
Yeah.
So there's a way to do everything. Fine, if there's a certain way you want your kid to be, fine, give them a fact. Because now kids are running on facts. They don't see that, okay, us zamane mein kya hota tha, humne bhi wahi karna hai. They're like, fact kya hai?
Huh.
You know? So
Ab
now,
zamana badal
ab
gaya hai.
zamana badal gaya. You need your parents needs to evolve around this now.
Mm-hmm.
It's not kids' job anyway to be around them, because things have changed. Ab zamana wo nahi raha. There's like a lot of technologies there and study. There's not just 2 fields. There's not just engineering for boys and medicine for girls. There are like plenty things. There's like sports, there's journalism, there's like arts, like so much stuff, you know. So we are doing our part. We are always going. My sister goes to several shows and has inspired people on several things. But again, it's 50-50. We have done our part. Of course, we cannot go to every house and, you know, force them to make whatever, like, okay, do this for your daughters. We can't just do that. So, okay, we have done what we could. But the other part, the other half, parents needs to understand. They need to at least talk to their kids, be nice to them, understand them. Okay, but if you also want to put your thing on them, put a fact. Okay, why are you doing this? What are you thinking so you're making them do this? You know, because now kids are fast. Like, this generation is really fast. Like, you need to tell them fact kya hai, why we are thinking this way, how this works in our time. So maybe we are scared of this, so that's why we are stopping you from this. They should know. अगर आप पहले से सर पे बैठ जाओगे कि ये नहीं करना, ऐसे नहीं करना, वैसे नहीं करना, then you know they get the suppressed and then they get pissed off and then they do bad stuff and then you go like, oh ये क्या हो गया, you know. So you need to understand them, be friendly with your kids and try to understand what they want. एक दफा उनकी भी सुन लो. I don't think so it's a bad thing कि आप उनकी सुनो ना. मतलब everyone has their own right. They are also like human beings. They also have their human rights. So why don't you just listen to them once, then explain whatever you have to do, but obviously nicely, you know.
Honestly, if I was, if I had you as a role model to look up to when I was swimming as a child, I would have honestly been motivated enough to, you know, take up swimming as not only as a hobby, but, you know, try it out for like the nationals or something. Because I think that's how important it is. Because if I'm sitting here today and I'm listening to you talk about all this stuff, and it is quite motivating. So I can only imagine how important it is to have role models out there for not only girls but also boys, and to try to convince them that, you know, they need to take Pakistan, because we do have the talent. It's just that no one's coming out and, you know, willing to participate. So lastly, what advice do you have for all the young females that are watching today that want to take the first step but are not able to because motivation nahi hai? So
my advice is just like, if you want to do, just get out of your comfort zone, make your parents, you know, see something, like do something that your parents will be like, okay, she have something. Like if you're not doing anything, how would they see that you are capable of something? You can't be just sitting in your room thinking that, oh, I want to do this, but Ammi Abbu nahi manenge. But get out, do something. You have to convince your parents at some point. उनके दिमाग में ऐसे सब कुछ नहीं आ जाएगा. You have to convince them fact-wise. उनको समझाओ. And if you want to do something, start from somewhere. At some points, your parents will get you.
Yeah.
Your parents will see, okay, she have this. Let us just do whatever she wants to do. So obviously, in the end, again, you have to get out of your comfort zone, start doing what you want to do, because by just sitting in your room thinking on it, it will make no difference.
Yeah.
So that's the first step. Get out of your comfort zone, start doing what you want to do, and only then you can get where you want to get.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing.
It all starts there.
It all
Like,
starts there.
You just can't sit in your room and thinking, oh,
Exactly.
okay.
I think if
Yeah.
if children can convince their parents कि हमने, for example, doctor या engineering
Yeah.
नहीं करनी, we want to do this, then I think there is also space for them to understand that, okay, pursuing sports
Yeah.
is also something that can be done, and it's
Yeah.
not necessary to, just like leave it out or not
Yeah.
pursue it professionally.
Yeah,
or
at some
even as
point
a
you have
hobby.
to start. Like from my example, like I wanted to study abroad for my university, and first my mom and my dad was like that, oh no, and they said because I'm the youngest, so they don't want me to go, because already I was away from home like last 2 years, and then now they're like, no, you will go on for too long, because my sister is married, my brother, so everyone's like older than me, so they have like owned their families and everything, so I'm the youngest who's like always around them. So obviously they will miss that part, so they were like, no. But then I applied to a university. I'm applying for like a good athletic scholarship and everything, and if I get it, I can go with something that, okay, I'm getting an athletic scholarship from a university in UK or Canada or America.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't they let me go then?
Exactly.
So that's the thing. You have to do something to show your parents that, okay, you can do it, and then they will support you for sure. You're also thinking in your room, they don't even know what you want to be, and then you criticize your parents that, oh, manengi nahi. I don't think so, it's right. Get out, do something, show them that you can, like how I did, that I can get this, and so now they're like, okay, go wherever you want to go.
Yeah.
So now they're supporting me this also.
Yeah.
But at some point you have to get out and do something on your own. It's not always your parents' job. अगर आपको कुछ चीज़ ठीक लग रही है, उनको गलत लग रही है, do something to bring them on your pattern.
Yeah.
Okay, this is possible.
This is possible.
So it's not, I don't know why kids blame their parents, but you're not even doing anything, then you're blaming them for no reason.
50-50.
Yeah, so do something.
Yeah.
जब करोगे तो वो भी कहेंगे हाँ भाई करो, जब कर ही नहीं रहे तो फिर अपने भी चलाएंगे ना कि बच्चा कहीं और निकल जाए, कुछ और ना हो जाए, बर्बाद ना हो जाए, तो ऑब्वियसली आप कुछ करोगे तो वो आपको करने देंगे ना. लगा आप कुछ कर ही नहीं, अपने कमरे में आप बैठे हुए और अपनी सोचो में, तो दे भी कि वही फिर आपका सोचेंगे ना, देन यू गो लाइक हम पे डाल रहे. इट्स नॉट लाइक दिस. आपने कुछ करना है तो आप करके थोड़ा बहुत तो निकलो, एंड देन टेल देम कि हाँ भाई ये करना है, ये इसका आगे स्कोप है, ये इसके बेनिफिट्स है, ये है, ये चीज़ें हो सकती है, थिंग्स
और मेरे अंदर भी कैपेबिलिटी है,
इसके लिए भी है, मेरे में ये चीज़ है, आई कैन डू इट. But then they will support. I don't think so any parent thinks bad of their kid.
Yeah.
They always want the best. वो क्यों अपना थोपते हैं? Because they always like कि अपने बच्चों को successful हमने देखना है. We want them to be like earning and stuff. So that's why they always choose medical जाओ, engineering जाओ. But if you come out with facts and everything that okay this can work and इसमें इतना चीज़ है, scope है, हो सकता है, then why not? They will support you for it. But वही बैठे रहने से कुछ नहीं होगा. You can't just blame your parents on this. It's not right.
Exactly.
It's not right.
So I think that's thank you for joining us today, Bisma. I'm very motivated myself as well. But I hope everyone that was watching had a good time. And thank you for everything you've done, not only for this country, but for all the young women out there. Thank you for joining us today, and we will see you in the next episode. Allah Hafiz.